Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we are doing a little thing called Comic Book Showdown. We are looking at Devil Dinosaur versus Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. We're going to be mainly looking at the first kind of story arc because Devil Dinosaur did have a shortened run, and Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur had a much longer run than the Jack Kirby creation. We won't really get into all the story arcs in there, but kind of looking at the series as a whole and seeing which one holds up a little bit better. First, let's get into the tale of the tape. Devil Dinosaur was first published back in 1978. Jack Kirby created this character, he wrote it, drew the book, and he edited the book. Now, I haven't delved into a whole lot of Jack Kirby stories. I am a fan of his art, and as we will get into this discussion here, he does have a flair for the science fiction, and I think that's where his strong suit lies. That being said, this was a great story, I think, especially for the time it was in. Great dinosaur action, Moon Boy, and you really feel for the characters. The original run ran from issues 1 to number 9. It lasted only a little while, and that might be because that is when Jack Kirby left Marvel and ventured into animation. Now, over on the other side, we have Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. This was first published back in 2015, created by Amy Reeder, Brandon Montclair, and Natasha Bustos. It had an original run of issues 1 through 47. Now, as we will get into this discussion here, this had some really good points in it that could have really evolved this series into an awesome all ages book. They were really going for that kids flair and that kids style in this, and it really could have worked if a few things weren't added and the character Moon Girl herself was a little bit more likable. Well, with that being said, let's get into it. We're going to start out with Devil Dinosaur number 1. It starts out, and actually the first few issues of this run start out with one-page synopsis kind of on the front, and then it folds into this double-page spread that Jack Kirby really lays out nicely. And as I said, he really has a flair, as we will get into in a moment, for the science fiction aspects of his comic book career. That is like bar none. All that stuff with the New Gods, with the Eternals, those designs he created were just spectacular. When it comes to animals and dinosaurs, he does okay. Obviously, I don't know how much reference was out in 1978 for dinosaurs and whatnot, but it really does the job, especially as you can see in this double page spread here. We have Moon Boy riding the back of Devil Dinosaur, and you have a fire mountain in the back, some pterodactyls, pterodons, triceratops, who they call a thornhorn or something like that. Yeah, it really gets the message across, and it tells you the story right off the bat. What I really appreciated about Devil Dinosaur, especially in this first couple issues, is that you really get a feel for the characters. You understand who these characters are and where they come from. Jack Kirby does a really good job of trying to pull on your heartstrings and your emotions, making you feel something for them. Devil Dinosaur is like the last of his kind of. His crew, his family of dinosaurs, was killed by the killer folk. That was one thing I didn't like about. I think Kirby could have used a little help in the writing, editing department. There were small folk, and they were just called small folk. They were the bad guys, and they were just called killer folk. That aside, Kirby does do a good job about, like I said, really drawing you in, making you feel something for these characters. Devil Dinosaur is kind of the last of his kind. And then Moon Boy comes to his aid. He kind of sees what's going on. He wants to help him. And then he kind of gets attacked, and Devil's Dinosaur comes to his aid. And so they kind of form this pairing that, they're this dynamic duo of this prehistoric type of alternate world. Once Moon Boy and Devil Dinosaur do become friends, Moon Boy wants to take him back to his friends, his small folk. But they don't want anything to do with him because Devil Dinosaur, they think, is going to destroy them all, so they cast Moon Boy out. And so now what we have is Devil Dinosaur and Moon Boy and on their journeys. In the way Jack Kirby does tell this story, though, it's not just wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. It's not just, oh, Devil Dinosaur was found by Moon Boy was cast out, and now they're good to go. They do They do get to their new adventures fairly quickly, but there is enough pages in the first issue that really tell you who they are. And like I said, they make you feel something for the characters. They make you not just think, oh, there's just a random character in there. No, they have these emotions that Moon Boy is deserted to himself because he is with Devil Dinosaur. Devil Dinosaur is already alone because all his kind were killed by killer folk. So Jack Kirby really does a good job in saying, oh, look, these are two outcasts, basically, and they are getting into their own adventures now. On the flip side of that, we have Moon Girl. Lunella is her name, Lunella Lafayette, I believe, and she's teased by being called Moon Girl in class because she's super smart. So that's one way of going about that for a nickname, which is fine. You know, kids get teased in school. The thing that I don't think they do particularly well in the first few issues, and then it pops up again later on in issues 7, 8, and 9, part 2 of the story arc, is that they don't make Moon Girl particularly likable. And I've seen this in a number of all ages and kids books where I don't know what the adults are thinking. I think Scotty Young does a really good job of this. He really draws you in. He makes you feel something for these characters. He doesn't make them unlikable. Amy Reeder and the Brandon, the other writer, I don't feel like they did a particularly good job in these first few issues of making you want to feel something more than just like, oh, why is this little girl so annoying? There's a lot of authors that are like that, especially in the younger genres, all ages, middle grade, kids books. And I don't know where they're getting their information from, but they just make these characters like kind of annoying and being like, blah, oh, why are you telling me what to do? I know everything. Yes, we all know kids and teenagers especially act like that, but that's not a way to draw your character into a reader and make your reader want to feel something for them, and especially make your reader want to follow their story. So Lunella is super smart. She's smarter than her teacher. She is annoying because when she goes home, her parents want her to talk a little bit, and she's just like, whatever. Nobody knows anything at this school. I can't learn anything there. And then her parents even say, well, what about friends? And she just cops an attitude and be like, well, what about them? I'm just going to leave them when I find a new school. It's a very negative attitude. And their depiction of one adult in the book, I can see being teased, like I said, by other kids and being bullied and whatnot, because that happens when you're younger. But there's a PE teacher that pulls a Cree orb, I can't remember the name of it now, out of Lunella's bag. What Lunella was doing in issue 1, she knows she's an Inhuman, and this is when the Terrigen Mist stuff was going on in the Marvel Universe, and she's trying to find a way to keep the Terrigen Mist from transforming her. So she finds this Kree orb, she takes it to school, and during PE, when she's knocked out of dodgeball, the teacher takes it from her. But the way it's depicted is like the teacher is bullying her too. So it just doesn't come across great. Devil Dinosaur doesn't show up until the very end of issue 1. So in issue 2 and 3 is when we really get into the mixture of Devil Dinosaur and Moon Girl and establishing their relationship. But there's not a whole lot to establish. Moon Girl is very mean to him. She calls him a dummy. And even when Devil Dinosaur is trying to protect her from these other cavemen who have come through the portal when the Kree orb was activated when she found it, Devil Dinosaur is trying to protect her, and he accidentally tosses the Kree orb out, and the other guys get away with it. And obviously, maybe she's a little upset about that, but instead of being thankful that Devil Dinosaur saved her life, no. She's just mad that Devil Dinosaur lost the Kree orb. And yeah, here it is. She calls him, you big red dummy. So they don't really establish that connection between them. Now, like I said, there are a couple good things that really could have helped, especially these first few issues, connect and draw you into this character, both Devil Dinosaur in this new world and Moon Girl. The design layout, even super implausible as it is, of her underground sewer layer was kind of cool. It'd be like the super ultimate clubhouse for any kid. How she got all that stuff down there, who knows? But like I said, this is an all ages kids book, or it's supposed to be. And so, you know what? You kind of toss little things like that off to the side when you're making things like that. In issues 4 and 5, we got into the totally awesome Hulk showing up. I don't really keep up with Marvel, and I know there are many Hulks running around. I know this was Amadeus Cho, I think his name was. He became a Hulk, and some kind of surfer bro Hulk or something like that. Yeah, so he shows up, and this is another high point that is kind of subdued. It's a high point because the battle between any Hulk, really, and Devil Dinosaur could have been amazing. And we kind of see a snippet of that in this double-page spread where Hulk is fighting Devil Dinosaur. Again, there's really no redeeming qualities here when it comes to Moon Girl, though. She's watching this fight. She doesn't want Hulk to take Devil Dinosaur away, even though she's been super mean to him already. And then, when Hulk does finally take out Devil Dinosaur, then she starts crying about it and saying it wasn't fair. It doesn't do anything for the reader because she's already been mean to Hulk. Or I should say she's already been mean to Devil Dinosaur. And so now she's crying because Hulk is going to take him away. There is a very big disconnect there. Jumping back to the original run of Devil Dinosaur and Jack Kirby. By issue 4, we're practically halfway through the series run, and I believe issue 4 and 5 is really where Jack Kirby shines because, like I said in the beginning, we really get into that science fiction aspect of Jack Kirby's art, which is just crazy and awesome. These space invaders show up in issue 4, and they start taking everyone out, and it's up to Moon Boy and Devil Dinosaur to fight them off, basically. Moon Boy has these visions which are just pretty much awe-inspiring the way Jack Kirby draws them. Here in this double-page spread, you can see this crazy vision that Moon Boy is having. It's basically a dream. And so, yeah, issues 4 through the rest of this series really show off Jack Kirby's in this skill in this area. At the same time, with all these crazy Jack Kirby drawings that he's really known for, he is still doing a good job of drawing the character in both Moon Boy and Devil Dinosaur. I believe in issues 4, 5, and 6, and maybe even 7, they are separated through most of those issues because these space invaders have captured Moon Boy and captured a bunch of other dinosaurs and they're deciding what to do with them. So Devil Dinosaur is out there trying to figure out how to take out the space invaders. He comes and meets a few other, I don't even know what they're called. They're not small folk, but they're other quote-unquote folk. One is called Whitebeard and one is called Stonehand. And really, Devil Dinosaur is trying to figure out how to take them out while helping these other two survive as well. What Jack Kirby is basically doing, again, is, drawing the reader in, connecting emotionally the reader with the character. A big red dinosaur, but the dinosaur has altruistic motives. He's trying to save the people, and he's trying to protect them. You really get that sense by issue 6 when the Space Invaders have been defeated and Moon Boy is out again. He's escaped, but he's not caught up with Devil Dinosaur yet. He's trying to find him, and he hides in a cave, and he's wishing that he can find his quote-unquote brother, Devil Dinosaur, and so they can be reunited. And the way Jack Kirby explains that and the way he draws that, like I said, it really does connect the two characters with the reader, and shows the reader that these are two people you want to root for and that you want to see do good and carry on. On the other hand, in the end, with the first story arc coming to a close in Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, Moon Girl does not come off very likable. She's always complaining that no one understands her. Again, as I said, kids always feel like that, but there's a way to do that and make the character still likable and make the reader want to find out more about them. She just comes off as always complaining that her parents don't understand her, her teachers don't understand her, her mom doesn't understand her, her friends don't understand her. Totally Awesome Hulk doesn't understand her, and she complains about that because he was different. And so she even goes on to say somewhere in issue 4 or 5 that she hates Hulk because he doesn't understand her. And he has these powers that he wants, and she doesn't want to be an inhuman, so she hates him because no one understands her. That's basically the message that comes across. At the end of issue 5, leading into issue 6, we have basically the formation of quote-unquote Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, the dynamic duo, the team-up. But for me, it was lost on because she's super happy. She's super happy to be with Devil Dinosaur, but she's been nothing but berating him this entire time, calling him a dummy, telling him to get lost. And it falls flat. It really falls flat. So, In this comic book showdown, we have faced off Devil Dinosaur versus Moon Girl versus Devil Dinosaur. Moon Girl versus Devil Dinosaur, like I said, could have done a lot of things right, but it falls flat because the character is unlikable, whereas Devil Dinosaur, Jack Kirby's creation, it does have its faults where Jack Kirby's art lies. He really has a strong suit, like I said, with that straight up superhero science fiction action stuff. But he really draws you in and makes you want to read about the characters he's talking about. He really tells you the story about Moon Boy and Devil Dinosaur, where they come from, and the fight they have to survive. And that kind of really draws in the reader, whereas Moon Girl kind of just complains all the time. The winner of this comic book showdown, Devil Dinosaur. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications. Let me know down below if you've read either of these comics and what you thought about them. And I will see you in the next video.